Alright, today I'm going to show you how I set up this Huanyang 4 kilowatt inverter I picked up off eBay, and it was about 186 bucks. Delivered FedEx to my door. I think it arrived here in 4 days. I was kind of impressed when I saw the FedEx lady show up at my door. I'm running it off 220. This is rated for 5 horsepower. I'm running a 3 horsepower on this knee mill that I picked up for cheap, and had it set up at first and never realized the belt was shot to hell, so needless to say I'm gonna need a new one. I've ordered 2 online, so hopefully they arrive soon. First thing you're gonna need to do is you're gonna need to set up the voltage of the motor. Hopefully your motor has a plate and tells you how to set it up. This is a 220 440 motor, so make sure you set it on the low voltage, and it's X, Y, and Z is together, U1, U2 together, V1, V2, and so on. Pretty simple. Make sure you have that set up right. And on the inverter itself, this is the 220 coming in, and that's on your ERNS, well, basically your RNS. This is the ground, the green here on E. RNS is the 220. The UV and W, that's your 3-phase to the motor. Doesn't matter which way you hook that up at first. If you realize that the rotations are going the wrong way, you can flip any 2 wires and it'll reverse the rotation. If you're running a rotary switch or any kind of switch for forward and reverse, you can also flip these 2 wires and basically will do the same thing. This is DCM, and this is reverse and forward, and I'll show you how I set that up at the end here. But these are basically the programming parameters that I've used, and I'm in Canada. 60 Hertz is the norm. USA is the same thing. And these are the parameters. 13 you want to start off with. Basically restores to factory defaults. 05, that's 60 Hertz for the your max frequency. You can set faster. It'll rev the motor quicker. Don't know if these Chinese bearings will be able to handle more. I've got a very speed transmission on this mill anyway, so it doesn't matter. I've got more than enough speed what it's going to have stock, so I'm just setting it at 60. That's fine. 220 was the max voltage. 142, that was the amperage on the motor, 8.5 amps. 141 was the voltage on the motor. 144, 1720 RPMs. And 143, that's the number of poles. And if you don't know what that is, apparently I found online, you take 7200, divide that by your RPM, and you get that value. It was already set up on default at 4, and I spoke to a friend. He said that's normal, 4 poles for this type of motor. I don't know, I'm not an electrician. 14 and 15 is the accel and decel times. I set it up at 3 seconds, which is working fine. You could set up a faster deceleration. It seems to be stopping pretty quick under, belt load and all that kind of crap. But you can set it up quicker. If it trips out your drive, then you're going to have to put a longer decel, or you're going to have to add a resistor of the appropriate value, and it says in the manual what you need to do to set up a resistor, but I'm not going to get into that. And then these parameters here are set up for forward and reverse switch. So you just set up the 001. Once you set up that 001, you won't be able to hit run anymore to start the motor up. You're going to need to use a switch. So once you make that the 1, you need to be using a switch to turn this thing on and off. 44 and 45 set up to 02 and 03. It explains it in the book, but if you set it up like I did here, you'll have no issues. So basically, you know, I've used a simple rotary switch. Came with the mill. It basically, you know, just makes a connection across DCM here to forward or DCM to reverse. It's just a simple setup like that. You can use this style of switch too. Double pull, well, single pull, double throw will work okay. And basically, you know, here's the switch. I'll flip it to forward and stop. See the direction, and then reverse. That's basically all set up and ready to go. Just need my belt, and I should be machining in a few days here as soon as my belt comes in. Anyways, hopefully that helps you out in setting up your drive, and hopefully I'll have quite a few years of use out of this VFD. It was about 1/3 the price of what I could get one locally, so saved quite a bit of coin. Anyway, good luck.